Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your news edition. These are the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, receives the ambassador of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to Algeria, who hands him over a message from His Highness, the Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The 13th African and Mediterranean Energy and Hydrogen Exhibition and Conference aims at reinforcing the energy cooperation to achieve a balanced and sustainable energy transition. The Algerian-Slovenian Business Forum in Algiers is the occasion for operators of both countries to discuss new partnership opportunities to serve the mutual interests of the two countries. Plot twist in France. A few hours after the announcement of the resignation of the French Prime Minister, Emmanuel Macron asked him to lead ultimate negotiations until Wednesday to establish an action and stability plan for the country. Welcome back. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received the ambassador of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to Algeria, Abdullah bin Nasser Al Busayri, who handed him over a message from His Highness, the Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The audience was held with the presence of the Director of the Cabinet at the Presidency of the Republic, Boualam Boualam, and the advisor of the President of the Republic in charge of diplomatic affairs, Ammar Abba. The 13th African and Mediterranean Energy and Hydrogen Exhibition and Conference of this year, 2025, focuses on accelerating tomorrow's energy with 500 exhibitors from 60 countries in hydrocarbons, renewable energy, digitization and energy transition. Najah Tayyar with the details.
Algeria's energy ambitions took center stage at the NAPEC 2025 in Iran, where ministers, experts and economic officials gathered to reaffirm and resolute the national commitment to an accelerated energy transition. The orientations adopted by the government, in line with the directives of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, are part of a clear vision to develop and modernize the hydrocarbon sector. For the 2025-2029 period, Algeria plans to implement strategic projects, 80% of which will be dedicated to upstream activities, while the remainder will focus on refining and petrochemicals. The launch of projects totaling 2,200 megawatts will not only ensure better gas availability, but also stimulate industrial development along the entire value chain, initiate green hydrogen production, enable the export of electricity from renewable resources, and reduce the carbon footprint in the long term.
I want to delve into a little bit about why I think we have all these new IOCs coming to Algeria and the existing IOCs are increasing their footprints. And I think it boils down to four things: stability, as Mr. Armini mentioned, security, the regulatory environment, and the desire for diversification.
Global energy leaders at the exhibition aisles made a unified call to action, strengthen cooperation and urgently accelerate the shift towards sustainable energy. The Algerian and foreign companies seized the platform to dramatically showcase their cutting-edge technologies. We are manufacturers of firefighting emulsifiers. We came to NAPEC to meet potential distributors and, above all, Sonatrach decision makers.
Du monde, des distributeurs, surtout des décideurs de Sonatrach.
Recently, we have launched a new activity in software development. Our company has existed for more than 50 years and has already carried out projects abroad. We have conducted exploration studies in Niger, Mali, Libya and Tunisia, and we continue to seek new projects internationally.
Recherche continue de projets à l'étranger.
For us, participating in NAPEC is about discovering new market needs, understanding emerging requirements, and meeting new partners in this sector. More than just a technical showcase, the NAPEC 2025 has evolved into a vital platform for dialogue. partnership and collaboration. The event is firmly focused on the accelerated construction of a sustainable energy future, positioning Algeria at the heart of rapidly transforming global energy ecosystem.
On the sideline of the NAPEC, the State Minister of Hydrocarbons and Mines, Mohamed Arqab, held bilateral meetings with presidents and representatives of world-renowned companies operating in the sector of energy. The minister met with a delegation from ExxonMobil, headed by the Vice President in charge of exploration and new opportunities. The two parties discussed the partnership and the investment, as well as the evolution of the ongoing consultation with the Sonatrach Group in research and exploitation. The minister also met with a delegation from Chevron Corporation, headed by the Vice President in charge of business development. The two parties discussed the ways of improving the cooperation in the exploration and exploitation of oil and gas resources. Then Arqab met with the CEO of Occidental Petroleum to discuss the relations between the American group and Sonatrach and the bilateral cooperation. Cooperation with the Algerian-Slovenian Business Forum held on Monday in Algiers, an opportunity for investors and operators from both countries to discuss new partnership opportunities in various sectors, including agriculture, artificial intelligence and scientific research. Details with Naïman Walish and Rania Al-Bahri.
A meeting held on Monday brought together Algerian and Slovenian business leaders to further develop economic relations between the two countries. Long discussions took place between investors to identify potential areas of collaboration, particularly in agriculture and artificial intelligence.
Following
the visit we had with the President of the Republic to Slovenia, we started talks with Slovenian counterparts who welcomed us warmly and showed us their potential. Each of us began negotiations in our field and goal of building medium and long-term cooperation. Today's meeting is a continuation of the state visit. I am confident that during the B2B meetings today between Algerian and Slovenian business leaders, projects of common interest and fruitful partnerships will be identified. I also hope to see an exchange of the know-hows between Algerians and Slovenians. I am very happy because I have worked in Algeria for a long time, since 1985. Now I can see things moving forward, again with Slovenia. There is a lot of interest from Slovenian companies and we are looking for business partners between our enterprises.
Representatives of the investment and promotion agencies from both countries were also present to support business leaders in achieving their respective projects.
We
have agreed to sign a memorandum of understanding between the two agencies to share information about both markets and to promote investment opportunities, both here in Algeria and in Slovenia, for Algerian companies wishing to enter the Slovenian market. We are happy to be here in Algeria. It is an opportunity to explore potential cooperation in different industrial sectors for future bilateral projects.
This meeting, which reflects a shared will for continuous and active commercial cooperation, marks the beginning of a broader dialogue aimed at turning these discussions into tangible partnerships and sustainable growth opportunities.
Chaos strikes France with the resignation of the recently assigned Prime Minister next to two other ministers within the government. Mixed emotions among the public, between relief and worry. Opinions differ, but the goal remains the same: a better France. More to come with Manel Boubagala.
With a government that lasted a single night and a few hours in office, and before even completing the formation of his cabinet, a statement issued earlier today announced Le Cornu's departure, making him the shortest-serving Prime Minister in the Fifth Republic.
The government lasted 14 hours and 26 minutes, which is not normal. We remain worried about what will happen next.
Perplexed might be the best word to describe the public sentiment at this point. Even members of Le Cornu's own political camp, hearing his proposals and his allies, have threatened to renounce their endorsement. At 9:40 a.m., l'Élysée announces the resignation of the Prime Minister. An hour later, Le Cornu provided further explanation.
The third reason is that the announcement of the new government created greed among those who want to keep control over the policies made, especially with the upcoming presidential elections.
In other words, Le Cornu no longer commanded a majority in parliament, nor could he rely on stable allies. With the left refusing to compromise, the common foundation completely shattered and the right expressing its anger. Bruno Retailleau stated his lack of trust in the decisions made, and on the same evening, Bruno Le Maire also resigned from his position. Within the same circle, the left is demanding to take the lead, the Social Party proposing an ecologist prime minister of its own.
We ask the President of the Republic to choose one of the nominees of the left, specifically of the ecologists, open to compromise and committing, as stated several weeks ago, to not use Article 49.3. The decision of the President of the Republic depends on what's stated in the Constitution itself.
So far, President Macron has remained silent. No statements or announcements. The people, uncertain, know that nothing legally prevents him from reappointing Le Cornu, Vincent tasked him with creating a new governmental body.
The crisis is clearly affecting all the parties involved, clearly lacking the majority votes, so reclaiming Le Cornu as Prime Minister is something I am truly doubtful of, as he might not find a voting majority.
At 7 p.m., the President decides to delay the process, asking Le Cornu to remain in his role, receiving about 48 hours to create a sense of stability within the country by making the necessary reforms, coming back on Wednesday with a clear action plan. Macron has stated that he will take full accountability in case Le Cornu fails to deliver. The opposition still doubtful, yet waiting impatiently for what's about to come to the light within the next couple of days.
Protests are growing in Morocco as public anger rises against the actions of the Makhzen, pushing the streets closer to a new wave of unrest. More details with Basma Far.
Difficult days hang over Morocco as frustration grows and trust in the authorities weakens. Citizens face mounting economic and social pressure, and their voices are rising after years of silence. From beneath fear and fatigue, protesters have emerged to express anger and demand change.
It's not the people who want chaos, it's the system. We're asking for our rights, for health, education and a decent life. We live in humiliation. Parliament should serve the people, not humiliate them. It's full of those who don't feel what we're going through. Corruption has reached every corner. We demand accountability and transparency in public finances. We are calling for those responsible for mismanagement to be held to account, rejecting temporary solutions.
Behind this scene lies a growing human cost. Arbitrary arrests of activists and ordinary citizens have become common as authorities tighten control over dissent. In this climate, freedom is seen as a charge and silence as the only protection.
We have to stand up. The country has been taken hostage. It's in hands of traitors that control everything.
Morocco is living through a tense period where repression meets hardship and where citizens continue to demand their right to live with dignity.
And during the 76th session of the Executive Council, the High Commissioner of the United Nations for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, reiterated his support to the Sahrawi refugees. We'll listen.
It is possible in Western Sahara, a situation that has lasted 50 years and where we have also remained engaged. UNHCR will continue supporting Sahrawi refugees for as long as it takes, but the time has come for all parties to recommit to peace, to finally bring this crisis to a long overdue resolution.
And with this, we come to the end of our edition. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us. Have a good night.